Hello there! Almost worked flawlessly. Almost worked flawlessly. Hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic week. For those that are not familiar, my name is Gary. I'm the community manager over at Wide Productions, and we're the publishers of the Falconeer. Very lucky to be the publishers of the Falconeer. Today, we're going to have the man who is responsible for the Falconeer, the man behind the birds, as you may say, Tomas Sala. He will be joining us very momentarily. As you can imagine, we are getting super close to release date, and there are many plates in the air, and he is hard at work making the game as amazing as it can be. So as soon as he's ready, we'll drag him onto screen, and you will be able to ask him literally anything. It can be about the game, it can be about his favorite type of ice cream, it can be about his favorite type of bird. You can ask him literally anything. That's what he's here for. But before we get started, let's go through some of the size comparison. Honestly, I wish I could take responsibility for that. That was the brainchild of my boss, who is a much sharper tool than I. And in the office yesterday, he came up with the idea, and we lovingly put it together. It was very well received, which honestly, I'm very grateful for. You never know. Anyone that ever makes a social media post, you know, sometimes you put it out there, you never know whether it's going to hit or miss. Thankfully, that one hit. I see a Mr. Trobel. I see a Doc Limitless in the chat. How on earth are the two of you? I hope your week is treating you well. We're midway through. And while we wait for Thomas, let's go through a couple of the basic ground rules before we get going. Obviously, there'll be a few things that we won't be able to talk about. Thomas has received a few questions regarding dev kits and the capabilities of consoles and so on and so forth. Obviously, we can't answer any of those. So, whilst I know you might be wanting to know them, unfortunately, we're going to plead the fifth on those. Additionally, we've got some information. You may or may not be aware that there is actually a beta upcoming for the Falconeer very soon. Very soon. If you're not already, please jump yourself into the official Falconeer Discord that can be found at discord.gg/Falconeer. You type those magical letters into, and I'll link them at the end of the show and on Wired social media afterwards. So if you're not already, please look at the links below. You can see all of our Twitters and everything like that. You can click on those, get them followed, and after the show, you will find all of the links to the Discord where you can be directed to sign up for the beta and get a little taste of the Ursee of your own before we lead in. Beta, yep. We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be turning around and saying, you know what? We don't want everyone going in sight unseen. The game's awesome, the game's incredible, but it's always worth having a little bit of a look yourselves if you get the chance. And that's what we're doing. You too are going to be able to ride on the back of a bird the size of a fighter jet, shooting down giant manta rays and dragons while being bombarded by airships, and fishing. Fishing's actually my favorite part of this beta, of this game, I'm going to be honest with you. When you're swooping around and you just see a big pool of fish, it's like, you know what? I'm hungry. My bird is hungry. We need to eat. Anyway, Thomas should be with us momentarily. So, before we dive in, I need to ask, how is everybody else getting on? I hope it's been a fantastic week. You hit that midweek point, you never quite know what to expect, but you're at least downhill into the weekend. I hope you've all been taking care of yourselves. Amused Tech Otter. That might just be one of my favorite names on Twitch. I feel I could never get bored of saying that name. La Otters are evolving. La Otters are not afraid. Anarchy says it was an online version of Twitch that was giving tech issues. The Twitch player is working fine. I'm glad to hear it. Please feel free to point out if there is anything wonky. Unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like you make these things on offline videos and upload them. You've got full control, and you can make sure that everything is fine. But you don't get to have one-to-one interaction with you all, which for me is my favorite type of interaction. Additionally, when you do it live, you do it live! Things fall over, things go wonky, streams die, PC's blue screen, games don't work, you get these things. So please point out if anything is untoward, and we will try our very best to resolve it as soon as humanly possible. Muse Techotter jumping in with our Prime sub. Whilst appreciated, and I will never, ever, ever say, do not do what you want with your monies. We haven't actually got all of our Twitches up and running yet. We've got big, big plans for Wired Live. I'm talking games outside of our own. I'm talking about other streamers. I'm talking about regular content every day of the week. I'm talking about cool overlays, super sharp, amazing transitions. I'm talking about sub-icons. I'm talking about all of the things, but it takes a little bit of time to put together. So keep a hold of those for now. Keep a hold of those for now. But I do appreciate it, Tech Otter. Get some big love and some hugs in the chat for all of you wonderful people joining us. Give me one moment. I'm just going to quickly double check where Thomas is at. Not that I don't mind killing air with you. Talking is my favorite thing to do. You've got so many questions. Flamish, go ahead. That is what this is for. On the one hand, it's to fly around and show you how bad I am at this game. Honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I would much rather Thomas was behind the controls. He is so much better at this game than I am. I'm just going to be flying into walls awkwardly while Thomas shakes his head. But he's on one side of the world, I'm on the other. So it is 100% having to be the way that this is. But keep all of your questions. Let's have a look. I see Flamish Boy. I'm actually you're going to get 2 seconds here of maybe a blank screen. No, we're good. Okay, awesome. You got like 5 questions. Pile them all up. Give me all your questions. We want them all. We want them all, and we want them now. I'm sure you'll fly along. Yeah, honestly, Sharky, I'm probably just going to wing it. I wish I need a drum snare. I need like a shh. Just imagine you heard that. I can answer a couple of those. Why do you small look like a Norman Reedus? God damn it, I don't look like Norman Reedus. This is what happens. This is what happens. Ooh, really? On a Wired stream? Well, that's rare. Ooh, you know what I should do? I mean, first of all, we get rid of that. Please, nobody click that link. First of all, nobody click that link. It is a trap. Second of all, Sharky Boy. There you go, fam. There you go, fam. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Dangerous to go alone. You take this. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Sharky is one of the community moderators over in Wild Productions. He does an amazing set of work. So it feels only right that he should be behind the controls here too. All right, Flamish, let me see if I can answer a couple of your questions here. Because I know a couple of them. I definitely can. First of all, how long will the game be? So that's an interesting one. And honestly, the nature of this game means that it doesn't really have an answer. And I get that that's kind of a very sales pitchy kind of thing, right? Like you'll hear that an awful lot. In video games, when people are asked how long's a game, they're like, oh, well, you can climb that mountain. But given the kind of open nature of this game, you know, if you critical path, if you go exploring, how many side quests you do, how many emergent gameplay elements you engage in, it can vary quite drastically. I'm kind of pegging an average playthrough. I think we've said like between 10 to 12 hours, give or take, but obviously everyone's playstyle varies massively. Some people might do it a lot quicker. Some people might be playing this game forever. Which is what we hope, more than anything. Is it going to be free on Game Pass? At the moment, no. We absolutely adore Game Pass. We support it wherever we can. A lot of our titles have appeared on Game Pass. Fractured Minds has been on there. We even launched Deliver Us the Moon, one of our other titles, straight onto Game Pass. And it was a resounding success. It was dope. However... but this one, we're flying solo. The Falconeer is going to be on its own. Does that mean it'll not come in the future? Can't say that. You can never rule out anything. Business is weird. It moves. It shakes. It goes everywhere. What else have we got in here? Does it have a Series XS patch, and is it 60 or 120 hertz? So, first of all, the game is 100% smart delivery compatible. which basically means you buy this game, even if you buy this on the original Xbox One or the Series X, you buy a Xbox One or Xbox One X, I will always trip over that. Expect a lot of that. If you buy it on Xbox One or Xbox One X, and you have not, if you are one of the people that has not been lucky enough to secure a pre-order yet for a Series X or a Series S, don't worry, because you can buy it on the current gen systems, and when you get your next gen system, you'll just get a copy of it for free. It'll upgrade straight to that. It's great. It's pretty great. We love the smart delivery system, and while there have been rumblings online of people not being able to transfer their games without an upgrade fee and so on and so forth, obviously we don't want to speak to how and why those are, but we can confirm with the Falconeer. You buy it, you get it on all of the Xbox family. Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, obviously not all the way back to the 360. That would be weird. Definitely not the original Xbox. I've been very tempted with the Series S. Honestly, Wobbly, I have too. Primarily because I do all my gaming on my PC, right? Which is for streaming purposes at 1080. Like, you don't want to try and stream above 1080. Things get very wonky if you try to do that, especially when you're crushing the resolution down. So pretty much all of my gaming is 1080p. Of course. The Series S, for me, is ridiculously good value for money. So I'm kind of eyeballing one of those two. I'm going to be honest with you. Though, let's not forget, it is also coming to PC. For those of you that are not bought into the console generations in any way, shape, or form, the same date, November 10th, the Falconeer will be launching on Steam. So if you're a PC flavor, that's where you want to be. Just saying. And of course, the upcoming beta is only on PC. So keep that in mind. As for resolution and frame rate, obviously there's stepping up and down between the systems. Very bare minimum on the Series X is going to be 4K 60 at the bare minimum. Obviously, if you play it lower on the Series X, it goes higher. And similarly, lower resolution on the original systems. We'll double check with Thomas when he gets on, because he's been playing around. I'm not going to try and oversell Thomas here. Those of you that have been following the Falconeer may have heard of him. He's been quite busy, been very active. Let's not forget, this game is made by one man. One man, Thomas. That's it. He's doing everything. And he is a massive, massive believer in performance over everything. The whole nature of this video game, and I want to make this very clear, when we launch into this game, there are no textures in this game. It is built with just coding magic. I'm not even going to try and explain it, because it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. He will be able to explain it well better than I will. But there is actually one texture in the game, and that's the logo. That logo right there in the text, because it kind of needs to be, right? Like, it needs to be there. Everything else is magic. Magic and moondust. And it was built that way, A, because the visual style is fantastic, and B, because he wants to be able to make the game just fly on anything. To make it so damn smooth on anything. That was his MO from minute one. IB Key, welcome. Are you playing on PC or console? This is PC. Well, we're running on the PC build, which is, I believe, this is going to be the build that beta players are going to be playing very shortly. So, this is basically a very... We're not going to dive straight in at the prologue, because it doesn't... we don't want to throw the story beats out so much to you. We're very much just going to dive into kind of open exploration and take you through some of the cool stuff. We'll show you the photo mode, the fishing, some of the cool enemy types, and I'll be flying around and showing you cool stuff while Thomas answers any questions that you have. But this is, for all intents and purposes, the experience that folks will have when they pick up the beta. What specs do I have? Oh, so my specs are modest. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be upfront. Thomas is basically making this to run on pretty much anything. But it's beefy machine. This is at home. I'm working at home at the moment. Hello, social distanced working. I would much prefer to be in my cool wired office studio, but instead we do these things remote. And my home PC is currently running a 7700K in slightly overclocked. I'm running 3000 megahertz, 12 gig of RAM, and I'm running a 1080 Ti. So that gives you a rough idea. And, you know, it's a bit of a beast, but it's an aged beast. It was kind of built right at the end of that generation, so I'm definitely going to have to look at an upgrade soon. Maybe not at the same time as new consoles come out. Gets expensive. We've all been there. There's only so much RGB that you can sweep under the table. Do you know what computer language Thomas programmed this in? It's built in Unity, Silent Tremor. It's built in Unity. Let's have a look. Cardigan, hello, Cardigan. A pleasure to see you. How on earth are you doing? Spicy, the spiciest. The spiciest. Okay, let me just double check. Do we have Thomas? Back to work time. Have fun all night. Thank you for dropping by, Wobbly. Hope you take care. Probably C# if I had to guess. Probably. Unfortunately, I don't know an awful lot about coding. I tried to make my own video game once. Didn't work out all that well. I've tried a couple of times actually. It's great fun, but I never have any idea what I'm doing. That's why I do the social stuff rather than the video game development stuff. We all have our strengths. Let's have a look. What else? What did I miss? Anarchy says that it can be pre-ordered on Humble. It can. There are many locations. We do have. Am I going to be able to pet the bird? That's a question. Oh, that's a question. We'll have to ask Thomas that. If not, maybe we take it off the back of feedback from people. Maybe if the people playing the beta put enough, because naturally we're going to ask. It is a beta for beta purposes. We want your feedback, and we want you all to help shape the world into the best way that it can be. If you all play the beta and you all come back and go, please, can we pet the burb? Let us pet the burb. We want to stroke the falcon. Maybe you'll put it in there. Maybe. I'm not making any promises. Cardigan says, I love Deliverous Moon and I want to buy the Falconeer 2. Will the Falconeer come to Switch or not? Deliverous Moon was cancelled for Switch, unfortunately, yes. Deliverous Moon was cancelled for Switch, unfortunately. It was just not the right time, and there just wasn't quite enough, of resources available to kind of get it into a shape. We don't put out games that we don't want you to play, to be honest with you. If we had put out Deliver Us the Moon on Switch in a form that wasn't fun, that would be a really awful thing for us to do. And we won't do that. We would much rather just straight up say, no, it's not happening. So, at this moment in time, the Falconeer is coming to the Xbox series of consoles and to PC. That's all we can say right now. That's all we've got it confirmed for. And that's where you'll find it. I know that sounds like a bit of a flat answer, but you know how the business is. That's how those go. My poor PS4. I'm sorry, Sharky. I'm sorry. Hello, Ginger. How on earth are you? And Black Spartan, welcome. I realize I didn't acknowledge you in the chat there. And anyone else, Silent Tremor, actually, I don't think I acknowledged you coming in. I'm not ignoring you. It's a little tricky to keep up with the chat sometimes. But yes. So look, minor thing. I do hope the option is what kind of controller to be used on PC. So at the moment, that's something we'll have to double check with Thomas. Thomas is again doing all of this solo, and he is just crafting this day after day into an awesome thing. At the moment, I can confirm Xbox controllers work, and the controller is definitely the best way to play this. There is going to be keyboard and mouse support, as well as some maybe other controllers, but if you have a controller, that's how you don't want to try doing analog flight control on a keyboard. I mean, you can. It's going to support it, but you wanna. I want to know what Thomas had the most difficulty with on the game. Will it be a collector's edition with the Falconeer? Ooh, wow, so many questions. Where do I log into the stream? Okay, Thomas is asking me questions. Bear with me. So if Thomas wants to go here. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I just need to double check, folks in the chat. Oh my god, I've had the game muted this entire time. Why didn't you tell me?
What?
Turn. I had it turned all the way down. Can you believe it? All right, talk away from me, Thomas. Introduce yourself so I can turn your volume up.
I am Thomas, maker of the Falconeer. Yeah! This is my tiny office where the magic happens. Well, not much, but the working.
Awesome. Okay, is that a little bit better? Game a little loud. We turn that down. It's all a juggling act. It's all a juggling act.
Okay, but
Still a bit quiet. Let's turn him up. We're making you loud, Thomas. The world wants to hear your beautiful voice. Keep on talking. Just talk.
We are talking about a game with birdie birds. Can you hear that?
Is that better? Is that perfect? Yep. Okay. Yay. Perfect. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds awesome. Okay, before we get going, we actually need to put a little bit of a shout out here to the fantastic Mr. Nichols in the chat right there, B Nichols Music, who is responsible for the music in this game and is an absolute prodigy in their own right. There's some pretty cool things in the game that they've done that I think if you're an audio person, you are going to absolutely lose it when you come across. So I think a quick round of applause for Nichols in chat there, because they definitely deserve it, top to bottom. And a big welcome to Tusa Prime as well. I see you lurking in the back there. Big fan of the Falconeer since PAX. It's a pleasure to see you here, my friend. I hope you are keeping well. Okay. Making you blush? I'll make you blush. I'll tell you all the wonderful things. All the wonderful things. All right, so before we dive in, again, let's get this on the road. Steer this back on course. Thomas, thank you for joining us. Your schedule is incredibly busy. And I know even before this, you were in calls and meetings and whatnot. So super appreciate the fact that you've taken time out to come and spend with us and introduce the Falconeer to the world a little more. Much appreciated.
No problem.
How are you doing in general? How's life? How are things treating you?
Incredibly busy. But mostly at the moment I've been reading previews and then digesting the feedback where people found things they didn't like or did, and then trying to use that to make the game better. Just before the beta, I'm also implementing better joystick controls. I have this. We have a little delay, but
maybe a little cat out of the bag moment there. When I did mention other controllers earlier, that's kind of what I was insinuating. So,
so shit. Yeah, well, it was always. We'll talk more in detail on that in the future.
Yes.
There's lots of stuff to be done, and putting in some little fast travel, quality of life features, make it easier for you to, travel around. Even though it's a traveling game, but sometimes you fail the mission, you want to do it again, you don't want to do the entire backtracking thing. So the small things like that are still getting added to the game to make it better.
So at this point, it's very much a case of you're just kind of seeing these early previews, you're kind of getting ready for the beta, getting ready to receive that feedback, and then kind of roll that back into the game as you get that final push towards launch ready. Yeah,
getting ready for beta, deciding the content everybody is getting to play, and then, we want to get feedback on as many aspects, so and to get it as well as possible. Yeah, so that's where we're at now, and then there's always bugs. There's
always bugs. Always bugs. Video games are made by magic. I'm just going to put it out there that they are magic and sheer force of will that hold it all together. So, there are always bugs, and it never ends. It never ends.
It's all duct tape. It's endless amounts of virtual duct tape.
Oh. Let's just quickly we've had a couple of questions in the chat here. First of all, Flemish Boy says, is Thomas Dutch or Flemish? You're very Dutch, aren't you? You're very Dutch.
I am not very Dutch, but I'm quite Dutch.
Quite Dutch.
Quite Dutch. I don't know. Dutch is sort of I don't know, mixed type of thing. It's like Dutch.
So, looking in on there, King Pulsar says, "This is the first time seeing this game for me. Can I get a very short summary of what this game is about?" And Nichols has given a very brief summary in there, but do you want to give your quick elevator pitch, Thomas? I know you've been asked this a billion times. Like so many. Like you must be a pro at it by now.
No. Okay, so it's air combat, classical World War I, World War II style dogfighting inspired fantasy air combat. So no missiles, robots, or any of that. Dragons or dogfighting on top of giant birds with primitive or weird ass weapons. So it's dodging, rolling, turning battles, all that classic stuff. Set in an open world with RPG aspects. So throw in a little, Skyrim in there where you get to fly around, do side quests, do all the open world stuff. There's time trials where you can do a little racing, do side missions, find treasure, escort people and stuff. Well, escort is actually fun here, so it's not like running behind someone. It's like escorting.
No walking very slowly while someone moves at a glacial pace.
It's not a. Well, you can go slow, but there is very relaxed parts to it. But it's very relaxed, fucking high intensity, and then relaxed. So this is an R-rated stream, right?
Well, I think it is now. I don't think it was until then, but
I am sorry. We Dutch, we're like sailors. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We'll put a profanity warning when we rip this out to YouTube, just to make sure.
Just for one bug?
There is going to be more than one. You and I both know that there is going to be more than one.
Yes, I am not.
Let's have a look. And just as mentioned, you did see a little bit further up in the chat, we have been discussing the beta and the feedback from that. If you join the official Falconeer Discord, and it is official, it's all verified and stuff, it's super cool, you can go and join that Discord, and as soon as you do, you'll be given a little window that says, "Hey, go here to register for the beta," and if you do that, then when the beta begins, you might just find yourself straddling a giant warbird flying over calm seas, and then not very calm seas, and that's when the fun begins. So please, if you are interested, jump on that. We'll post it out in the socials after the fact. Please keep an eye on those, and you'll be able to keep up with everything Falconeer, which you want to do. I don't even need to tell you, by the end of this stream, you're going to want to. I love a big warbird. Yes, you do, and that's one of our QA testers in the chat. So when the game comes out, you can shout at him and say, "Wait,
already R-rated. So.
Why are there so many bugs?" And Punter will sweat profusely. There won't be. He's very good at his job.
And I wake up like this. For question one, I wake up like this. This I don't know.
Yeah,
what genetic.
This is your "I've just got out of bed" look. You just got out of bed like this.
I call it unkept sheep look. So. I used to shave with one of those things where you go. I don't know the sheep shaving stuff. But it's either that or this. I can't help it.
Honestly, I feel you. There's a very robust band keeping all mine back because when I let it loose, it goes kind of the same, and just kind of goes all over. So
I can be a civilized,
honestly, the only reason I do this is for the green screen. Anyone that streams or records video with green screen, they know that individual hairs flying everywhere are an absolute nightmare. So, just for my own sake, we tie it back.
Quite nicely.
Can I fashion or customize my bird?
Well, there is. I had a count. So there's about 8 or 9 playable bird types, which come with their own. Well, skins basically, so color types, but their own statistics and behavior. So you can upgrade and stuff. There's no color customization. That will definitely be something for in the future to add. I had been thinking about ribbons and stuff or armor, but ribbons. That's not in the initial release. So that's more weapon focused and mutagens to improve the stats. So you're gonna stick in giant vials of file stuff and mutate your bird, so mutagens, chance, weapons, and an armor. It might be an interesting edition later on.
Basically, I think King just wants like fashion souls, like full on, the entire thing
Oh yeah,
of just being able to.
ribbon and armor. That is where I'm thinking of. Have a nice
Awesome.
plume or something, tied to the legs, and then some armor.
Yeah, I could put a big plume on a bird. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Someone's asking which graphics API. It's coming to Xbox, man. It's DirectX 12.
DirectX 12. There we go. So just before we dive in, I'm gonna navigate to an earlier chapter because I was, I play, but we don't want to dump people too far ahead into the game. And we'll start from here. We'll have a little free fly around. While we do that, do you just want to very quickly explain the nature of? I alluded to the fact that there aren't any textures in this game, and that's a big part. I nearly said fart, and you're rubbing off on me already. That's a big part of how this entire game just runs so beautifully and so smoothly, and that intense high frame rate that is behind everything. Do you want to just quickly explain how you managed to make a game with no textures? Because that's kind of bananas.
Well, I've started doing this 7 years ago or something. It's just something I liked visually, and back then, all sharp lines and so would look really ugly because anti-aliasing was, just a thing. And what were we running at 720p? You'd be lucky if you ran at 720. So I like sharp lines and very clean look. So I don't like the messy sort of normal mapped. Hyper real we do now. I'm gonna play Cyberpunk all day long when this is all done. But I for myself to make, I like my stuff to be very clean. So I started experimenting, replacing stuff you'd normally do with the texture, like coloring stuff with you can vertex color. So there are colors on a model. They're just the triangles and faces for each thing. And that evolved into trying to do interfaces and stuff like water. And I found out you can use all kinds of math to display shapes and how light behaves. So, for instance, the water, it's just it's called a Perlin noise, but every game uses that. But those are actually sine waves. So they're just waves that go like this, and you combine 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and suddenly you get these complex patterns. That's a fantastic way of doing things. So, so a lot of the work is done in modeling, but some of the stuff like the lighting is all custom. Normally you have like a certain map for the sky and stuff. It's all the math. So you can make gradients and mixed gradients. So I do that in the sky, of course. And for instance, the one thing that comes close to being sort of easy to understand to textures is, so I render out a Perlin noise. It's a sort of a fractal, but it's a very simple noise generation. I use that instead of actually going into Photoshop and making a noise. I enjoy it being generated in the game. So that's where all the snow and all the water stuff come from. It's actually a mathematical noise that's being generated. Once you start doing that, I do it now because it forces me to do things in a different way. So I'm not using any of the default, out of the box lighting that comes with Unity. Everything you see is lit, the sky, the atmospheric, the scattering. So the way the light fades off in the distance. It's all based on these gradients and doing stuff with math rather than having it done with textures or a normal map or a depth map or that sort of stuff. So, and that means you can have these, if I'm pointing at my own screen.
You're pointing at the screen.
You look at the rock, then you are on the right side, there's a rock in the distance, and you see that the bottom of the rock is just fading a little bit more than the top of the rock. All those things are just gradients, saying how high is something before it fades out. And if you start fading with that, you get these really nice, sometimes fairly realistic looking things, but they become very clean. And I love that. You have to find out new ways to do things, to do reflections, new ways to do the noise, new ways. And it looks different, which I don't know.
Basically, in layman's terms, Thomas is a wizard. But boiling it down, he is a mathematical wizard.
No. So sometimes people come up to me, you must be like a math wizard. I have a solid understanding of of some basic maths, but I was the lazy one, and I could never make a proper calculation in calculus in class in school. Because I was just always too how do you call it, sloppy in it. So I understand what you, but I have no sense of. I can't research stuff. This is all try and error, bashing your head against the wall and just trying stuff out until you, oh, that's nice, that's nice. I have entire formulas in the game I don't understand. I just added. What if I added plus this to that? What if I signed this? Oh, that looks nice. It's there's no wizardry. It's just really. A mad sense of experimentation.
That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to very quickly do, because as beautiful as the character select screen is, I want to get us out into the Ursee before we tackle more questions.
Mr. Trouble, it's the font done without an internal texture. Okay, so there is, and I've said this, there is one texture in the game which is a proper old school texture, and that's the bloody fucking font. I have looked at doing this.
That's two. I need a counter.
from SVGs, and because a font is just is mathematically you can re-render that. But we'd all like this game to be released this century. So that is the one caveat. There's lots of render textures and stuff, but that's the one actual texture that's in there is the fucking font. Sorry.
That's three.
It is frustrating. Feel me. I would have rather not done it. And you might get an update in 2 years with every font in the Falconeer replaced with.
We just need to figure out how to make fonts not use textures, and then we're golden.
They are vector shapes, so it should be possible. But then you're rendering it to pixels at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never ends. So let's just take a very quick look. We're on the character select. At the beginning of the game, you kind of choose you've got a prologue, and then you've got several chapters, and each one kind of gives you a different angle of the Ursee to kind of look at.
You get in the shoes of a new person.
Shoes of a new person, from a new house, from a new kind of a new group within the Ursee, as it were, and they've all got their little quirks about them, be it an appearance or a color scheme or so on and so forth. And on top of that, you also have different kind of classes, right, that you're able to kind of choose through that impact the stats of your bird and what you can do with it.
Yeah, and you get a different bird, but you can also you retain your experience, your cash, sort of inherit it between chapters. So every time you start a new chapter, you don't have to start from scratch. And internally, we're even still debating with the QA if you should keep your bird. But story-wise, we'll figure something out for the beta. But so you don't have to go back. So all your levels and everything is saved, and your gun is saved between chapters.
So I'm going to start with the Falconeer, because I'm nowhere near smart enough to not just take a ton of damage and engagements. So I'm gonna rely on stacking this HP a little bit, because I'm too like aggressive, you know. Like, I see something, I dive in there, and before I know it, I'm surrounded by 15 things shooting at me, and I need that health pool. So we're going to stick with our default Falconeer for now, and we're going to leave this to run for a little bit. So every area in Ursee has a backstory. It is a long and ancient world, and if you're in the Discord, you're going to learn a little bit more about that this week, which I implore you to be in. Every landmass, every location, every population, it all has a purpose, it all has a history, and it all has a place in the current political climate of the Ursee. So you can kind of get a lot of this from cutscenes, from ruins, and kind of areas you can go and land at and learn about, and kind of pad out your understanding of the world of the Ursee as you go along. We're going to just straight up take flight on this one, Thomas. We're not going to dive into any missions or anything as such. We're just going to go take flight. We're going to go exploring, just to give people an understanding. In later streams, we'll maybe get into the nitty-gritty. But I kind of want, especially with the beta coming up, people to be playing stuff that they haven't seen, you know? That makes sense? That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to take ourselves off.
I'll take that as an inspiration, for sure. I read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, so Ursula Le Guin, for sure. Yeah, and the name, sure.
So this is
So
the
are you playing
starting.
inverted
Go ahead.
or regular, Gary?
Sorry.
Are you playing with inverted controls or regular controls?
I'm playing with. Let me double check now because I can't even remember. I believe I am playing on.
No, it's in the control scheme. This is the settings.
Yep, I'm on inverted.
You bugged out the game.
I bugged out the game.
Main menu. I've been looking for this bug.
Yep. Okay. Here we go, folks. We found a new bug.
Yeah, this was hunting.
We punter. We found a new bug. This is what happens.
Punter reported this, I think, yesterday. So that's how it works, guys.
That's how it works. Live testing, a game still in development. It's always going to happen. Always.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. I am inverted, like a normal person. Who would say that? Who would say that?
If you are into flying games, then that makes sense for a lot of people, but there's also regular options in there. You can even invert or de-invert the camera. There's going to be lots of control options.
Does the game use HDR? And I've seen a few questions of ray tracing and so on and so forth in there as well.
Okay, so HDR, it's a multifaceted beast, so I'm not commenting on HDR display support at the moment. You're going to catch fish.
Oh!
No, you need to
I'm going to
dive
try
in.
again. I'm going to try again. Hold up.
But then there's HDR internal rendering. Because HDR is such a abuse term. So,
why am I so bad at fishing? Carry on.
Yeah, why? Point stick down. Well, the fishing is a little hard, I must admit. It's the bombs are.
Yeah.
Oh, you got one.
I got one. Perfect.
No, your roll are not inverted, by the way. It's just pitch inversion. What was it? So HDR, HDR is a multi-layered beast. So internally, it's rendered to HDR. So I can tell you that. So that means there won't be any banding or color banding, and the rendering is using every bit it can to render out all these colors. Because you have, it's all about color gradients and very subtle transitions. You wouldn't want to do this in non-HDR. That said, if your machine can't handle it, I think it's clocked off if you clock down the post-processing quality setting as well. But yeah, so I sound so Dutch. Yes. Am I not very Dutch? I am so Dutch, I feel very Dutch. Cardigan's got an interesting question for you, Gary.
Why is there only an Xbox Day 1 version for the Falconeer? I don't own an Xbox, only a PC, PS4 Pro, and Switch. So at the moment, the Falconeer is only confirmed to be on the Xbox series. We're discovering all the locations. I guess it's a new save. So it's you get a little zoom in on a new location when you arrive there, and then you can go and take a landing and see what missions are on offer and kind of get the lay of the land while you're there. But expect to get a lot of those zooms as I'm just ambling around the Ursee a little. But yes, at the moment it's only confirmed on Xbox and PC. That's 100% where the Falconeer lives.
I do believe there's a physical edition for Germany, or I'm not supposed to say that. It's in stores.
No, there should be. I think you're okay to say that.
For PC, yeah.
We are both in so much trouble after this stream. We're both going to get so many.
No, it's online in the stores in Germany. In Germany, there's a limited PC physical release. Amongst others in Germany.
Yeah,
so,
there should be a physical version for PC. So whilst it is coming out on PC, hold up, down the back here. While it is coming out on Steam on November 10th, on the same day, digitally, there is going to be a physical version for PC in some regions as well.
But
Steam don't let you. I'll have a look at that Cardigan.
Yeah, all the pre-ordering on the Xbox Store and Steam will happen. You'll get an announcement at some point. It's not there yet.
Let's go mess with the answers.
Statue. Yeah, I want a statue. So why don't everybody go to Twitter and say we want a statue? I mean, nice. And with wingspread, and then the how do you call it? The thing where the bird sits up can be a small perspective fancy tank. Yeah.
I have to say, Thomas, there was one request before you joined us that the chat gave. As for a feature they wanted in the game, and I know that we have bigger fish to fry as far as finishing the game. But they wanted to know if you could catch, I've still got fishing on my mind. If you could pet the bird.
Well, okay, so
Can we pet the bird?
okay. Um, um, you cannot at the moment pet the bird.
But
Well,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
so,
I'm sorry. I'm putting so much on you here.
so there's a section. It's not fully developed yet. So you might be. It's on my list, people. But my list is like I am sitting on my list. So it's like hats.
Requesting hats for the Falcons.
So there. No, so there's a thing in the game about how you treat your bird. So there is it's not moralistic, but there's like how they used to treat his racehorses, and they would inject him with stuff and steroids and stuff. So there's some of that in the game. So there is some interaction with your bird where you get to choose if you want to upgrade it or not, and because the upgrades might not always be healthy for the bird. So there is a story there where you can decide not to harm your bird, and thus have a different sort of.
I suppose a good comparison would kind of be for anyone that is familiar with the Witcher series of the whole toxicity level in there, where like the mutagens can definitely give your bird a stats and a performance boost and make it much more fearsome. However, it can come at the cost of the bird's overall health, and there is a limit. So, kind of balancing that care of how much do I want to look after my bird versus how much do I want this to be like a sports version of the bird, like really overtuned and performing it at peak. That's a balance that players will need to kind of get their head around.
Yeah, and I don't mind messing with the head of play. So there's some stuff to do. There's also chants which are more friendly, spiritual upgrades, which are more like passive buffs. So there's a chant called Purify that will make sure that every non-living, so like a mechanic, like turrets or engines of ships you attack, explode once you've shot them down. No, you won't grow the bird because the story isn't long enough for that. Sorry, but that's a story for part 2.
Let's do a mission while we're going here. Carry on talking. I'm gonna get an early mission going.
Or a side mission or something.
Yeah.
So the Purify chant, for instance, it triggers that every sub-target goes critical when you destroy it. So that means they explode. So and does splash damage. So you have this chant if you wear it, and if you hit enough of the turrets on a big battleship, they'll go critical, and then the next one goes critical, and the next one goes critical, and you have this chain reaction.
So kind of like weak points. The glowing weak point on a boss, you can kind of just throw fire at it and hope for the best, but if you're smart, you're looking for those kind of crit points, and you're
or take down
out.
But you can take down an engine that blows up, and that blows up the turrets nearby, and I've had a giant battleship and just one-shotted it because of luck, and I had that chance, which was fun. So there's multiple upgrades types, and there's yep.
So let's just take a moment here, first of all, to show the. I think this is, a good opportunity. First of all, to show the photo mode while we talk about our super friendly wingman here, because there's also a wingman system in the game for some missions, where you will get allocated other Falconeers, not real people Falconeers, because no multiplayer.
Maybe you can show the rider on top of the bird.
Indeed, let's have a little look at them. So the Falconeer isn't the bird. The Falconeer is the little gentleman on top of the bird right here, and what you're seeing here,
or lady.
But more importantly, the photo mode is pretty ridiculous in that you can quite literally just detach the camera at any moment and go frame however you want, wherever you want. It's literally a detached camera over the entire world. You could just leave them there and just go off elsewhere.
Yeah, or zoom the time. You can make the sun go up.
Yep, you also have full control over the passage of time. Just for the screenshot as well, which I love, by the way. Like, it's pretty amazing. I've lost my bird. Hold up, there we are. It's pretty amazing that I can just push a button and the passage of time just moves and just rotates, and the world moves along with it. The lighting moves with that, and you can just kind of find, you know what, I want a really cool picture, and I'm just going to angle the camera sideways here as we're coming in. We're just zooming in on our wingman. Maybe we get like a nice kind of evening dusk shot kind of thing going on there.
And some depth of field.
Oh yeah, what's the depth of field again? You're gonna have to remind me.
D-pad.
So, left on the no, it's not left on the D-pad. It's
up or down.
Up or down. One of them.
It's not working.
Is it not working? Are we in bug territory? It's not working.
No,
it should be working. It should be working. But there are also.
It only works if you're at the highest settings level. It's complicated.
But yeah,
there will be depth of field.
There are going to be those kind of filters to put on and mess around and get some really, really cool in the moment. And it doesn't matter when. It can be while you're just cruising. It doesn't matter if you're like knee deep in the big battle and surrounded by 3 or 4 things. Like, you can just pause it and go, you know what? This is a cool screenshot. Which makes my life very easy when I'm trying to grab things for social posts. So I thank Thomas specifically for putting this feature in. A front shot. And yes, Kevlar. Lord Kevlar in the chat there, another one of the wide crew. That's correct. The blue canisters on the back, that's basically your ammunition. And you'll be able to see the ammunition basically dropping off as you're using it. But ammunition needs to be recharged. You can do so by flying it literally into storms. You'll see them littered around on the map like a marker for, by the way, there's a storm here. You fly yourself into there and you channel the lightning to recharge your weaponry, which is pretty metal, Thomas. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. That's a pretty metal thing to do. Is I'm out of ammo. What shall I do? I'm gonna charge into a lightning storm and just fill it up. But you can also come afoul of doing that, can't you? Like it is possible to kind of get your feathers singed when doing so.
You can overcharge, but there's also a chant that prevents that. So you just have to earn the cash. There is you can also just buy some in the store, because there was one preview where didn't figure out there's a store just one click away. So every time you land, you can buy new ones. There are different types of ammo, which some ammo you can't buy, you have to find in the world, like caustic, which is green ammo, and it changes the color of your weapon. So if you have red ammo from a volcanic lightning storm, or you bought it, or you charged it from some turrets you just destroyed, you can inflict incendiary ammo.
Incendiary ammo fired from a lance. That's these questions.
I don't know. I played lots of Red Baron in the early 90s, and they always had incendiary ammo. It's just
it's not an air combat game without some form of fire.
You got to see those guys go down in flames.
Exactly. So we've got our wingman here. Just before we dove into the photo ad, we kind of spoke of the wingman, and occasionally you'll jump on a mission and you'll be assigned somebody that basically asks as your wingman, literally and figuratively. They keep enemies off your back. They act as kind of decoy tanks for the enemies to engage on and let you get a better angle on. They keep you informed with their radio chatter over the course as to what's going on, and they're just all-round good eggs to have, which is going to be useful because it looks like we've come a cropper of a few nasties. You'll have to excuse my aim. I am not the most dignified pilot.
You are not. Are you in easy mode, by the way, or are you in hard?
I think I might be. I'm on normal mode.
Oh yeah, no. Then you have aim assist.
I bugged the game out again, Thomas.
What
I bugged the game out again, Thomas.
But I need to know how you do it.
So that was me just going into the settings. I think it might be a case of, you know why it is?
I will hang your skull around my neck.
For some reason, my resolution is set at 4K, which is interesting because I'm on a 1080p monitor. It might be that. Let's have a look. This might be a user error rather than a game error. Let's troubleshoot. Troubleshooting.
You're about to overshoot. Here you are. You're there.
Go back. There we go. Double check. Troubleshooting live, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think that's the bug, actually.
I don't think.
I think you have to go to menu.
Yeah, let's go to the main menu.
You're just being your monkey testing it. I thought I fixed it.
Okay. We'll fix it in post. Let's go back.
I do. Yeah, you now should probably go to another chapter and have a more kick-ass mission.
Yeah? Okay, let's go to a different chapter. Pick me a chapter, Thomas.
A good position amongst several
you-
companies makes Dunkel a favoured
we
spot for
will
traders
go
seeking
to
circumvent imperial
chapter-
tariffs. A natural harbour, Dunkel has survived longer than many other settlements
3.
along the
Let's go
Chapter
to
3.
We'll fight
To
some
the shard.
pirates.
Okay.
To the shard.
To the shard.
Perhaps you could cheat for us. And
Are
cheat
you-
to the next mission. Do you know how to do that? I'm not going to tell you.
Quick,
on the- on-
I can't remember.
I was Borgia.
I can't remember the cheat. It's been so long.
I was Borgia, I believe.
Give me quickly. DM me the cheat, and I will implement said cheat,
Take control. Shard has waited patiently.
and we will answer questions in the chat.
Unprecedented.
Okay, just go to the lady to the right, the spy master,
Yep.
and do what I just said.
Bear with us, folks.
No, go up. Now you have to go back to her. You moved your arrow. Move your arrow up. Gui, just go to the other. Go back and forth with the. Yeah. Now go back to her.
Yep.
If you move, yeah, okay. Now do it.
Time for our plans to bear fruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take this mission.
Take
Yeah,
this mission. All right, we'll take this mission.
Yeah, that'd be a good mission.
All right. So what's? Give us a quick rundown of this mission, Thomas. What's the
Well,
purpose
we're
of this
gonna
mission?
we're gonna do an escort. So skip through the. People are asking what can a Wingman do. That can be pretty lethal. They'll take down enemies. I remember some QA tests where it said, "Well, it's too powerful. It's taking all my enemies down for me." So, they are fairly useful.
Good. I need them to be useful because I am not.
In this mission, I thought ahead. I'm giving you an entire battleship as a friend.
I
So we're
will. Yep. Awesome.
For a absolute boss. It's called a dreadnought. And we're gonna escort it somewhere, and there's gonna be some furballs.
Awesome. I am down for that. Have the invites to the beta gone out? Not yet, Peach Pablo. Not yet. But keep your eagle eyes peeled, because they will be soon.
So it's a little fly to get there.
It's okay. I'm okay with a
I
little
don't
bit
know
of a
what
fly. Just
In the
taking
new
the sun.
build, there'll be a nice skip button that'll teleport you there. So, you can also see all these traders just sailing around.
Just going about their business. Just doing their thing. Just
Yeah,
living their
you
best life.
and escort them, or they'll tell you where some pirates are, stuff like that. And if you follow them, you'll discover new locations.
Oh, so they're actually just really useful for just...
They are very useful. If you want to know where something is, you chat to them. They go, I'm on my way to Westgate. You know, I've never been to Westgate. You just follow them.
Sweet. I was
there's-
not aware of
there's,
that.
a Imperial patrol sailing by on their big ass steamer warship. Very useful as well. It's not as big as the one we're about to meet up with.
Are we going to get a bigger boat? Are we going to
We're
need a bigger boat?
gonna get the biggest boat.
Okay.
But here's a small, it's a steam rake.
So look, what else have we got now? On Twitter, who do I need to tag for the statue question? Fire that to Wired P on Twitter. Give me a headache. I want to finish this and find that there's like 70 people have messaged the Wired Twitter account demanding a
Hashtag
statue of the
Falconeer
Falconeer.
statue.
Yeah, do that. Get a hashtag Falconeer, spam messages for a statue, and if enough of you do it, I'll have to put it in front of my boss and go, look, it's what the people want. It's what the people want.
That's what. You're nearly there.
We're nearly there. We're just taking a cruise.
I am on your map, so I can't look where you're actually at.
Yeah, there is actually a mini map underneath Thomas's
There it is.
beautiful
And a
face.
whale popping up, and it was you can see the scale of this beast of a ship.
This mighty vessel is hankering for
Ooh.
Falconeer.
Should we go say hello to the whale? Oh no, it's gone.
Well, you can. He's nearly gone.
Here he comes.
Can the people hear
Whoa.
the same audio, or you're streaming without? Oh, it got hit by the ship.
How's your luck? How is your luck?
So
All right.
we're escorting this bad boy, and eventually an escort means there'll be some combat. But this is one of the bigger ships. So if you come up one of these bad boys, they're littered with guns and turrets, point defenses, and you'll see them go up in a bit when the enemies appear. They can be shot, they can be sunk, this one, but well, you won't be able to do it by yourself.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Abomination.
Here come the Mancers. All right.
So the Mancers, they're not liking the ship because this is,
No.
highly illegal technology, and it's been, built on the down low. So you can see it firing off all its. So
Lost my target. There we go.
track your target. Lock. Press the lock button. That's why
I'm
you're not
pushing
hitting.
it.
No, you're pressing the fire button. Press the X button.
There we go.
Have you pressed it? Yes. Now you should be hitting people easier. See?
I will still find a way to miss.
No, okay. So when the interface is blinking, your aim assist will kick in, and once you have that, the things become a lot easier.
Got
So
you.
see,
And you want to kind of lead.
you wanna get it in the little reticule up front.
I'm just going to go low, and I'm just going to uppercut it. I'm just going to come straight up into its gut. Ow. No, I'm not.
Maybe it's good to show you can you're diving and losing all your energy, man. You can use the B button to track the camera, your enemy with the camera. So if you target something, or if you've got something target, and now hold the B button.
Oh, the camera tracks its movement.
Yeah. Well,
But
hold it again, and it will
Thought of
help you.
everything. There you go.
See it? So now you can have and now it's just lining up, shooting that bad boy. See, and you score
And you
better.
can let go of that and then re-engage it at any time, right? So if you needed to reorient.
These are pretty. It's chapter 3, so these guys, they don't die just from a few shots. You're gonna have to really. There you go.
Oh no! No!
Kill. Well, he died in the end. I saw him flame out.
We took him with us. That's the important bit.
I don't know. I think you flew into one of the big guns.
I actually think I dove in front of a shell that was meant for that. I think that's literally what happened. Oh no. Nobody tell anyone about that.
But that should have improved your combat capabilities quite a bit, those few hints.
Yeah, 100%. I already feel 125% more capable as a Falconeer. Already. Would there be a possibility of a co-op option in future? I think that kind of falls under what you were discussing earlier, right? Where, like, even post-launch, you've got, like, a big old list of things that you're kind of looking at, you're scrutinizing, you're kind of picking apart and going, does the game need this? Does the game want this? People want this? And, I think that's definitely been brought up a few times, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I think co-op would be the most fun mode for this, because it's very story-driven, open-world-ish. You get that Wingmen sense. So, but at the moment, it's not. I can be honest, it's not planned to add in the planning, because you need to do proper multiplayer. You need a lot of architecture. So it will be a big update that will take some time. I had been contemplating doing split screen on console.
Oh wow!
So that's a lot easier. But like I said, I first finished the first single. I love single player gaming, so it's an epic single player experience. Let's first finish that, and then we'll see.
Take it from there.
Yeah. So that's a jet stream up there you could take.
I just spotted that on the map, and I thought I want it. I want this jet stream.
Yeah, you have to get really up into it. You'll notice when it's because it's huge.
The jet streams, what do? They basically just kind of give you a little bit of a.
They're fairly self-explanatory. They're like a little.
a little boost.
A little boost. Well, it pushed you a good. Good...
covered a large amount of distance and refilled our energy too, which is.
Yeah, those are fun. And in addition, you can see Clefspire, which is another town on it.
Do you have a little look at Clefspire? The boat can look after itself for a minute, can't it?
Yeah, it will pause.
Yeah,
while you go.
the boat will just carry on its path, and we'll
Yeah,
catch up
so
with it later.
Clefspire, these guys are shipbuilders, so they've mined their hometown rock into two. That's why it's called Clefspire. If you go the other way, you can. So the front part is their town. The rear part it's more industrial and where they've been mining, and there's some ships being built on the right side. So yeah, Cliffspying is they're one of the chapters, one of the factions you'll work for, and they're super wealthy. They make battleships for everybody in this world.
Even the one that we're escorting?
Yeah, they just built it. So you're picking.
So this is new. We don't want to scratch the paintworks. This is brand new. They're going to be really mad at us. Okay. So we'll have to try and look after it a little bit.
We know the beta. Someone's asking when the beta starts. We know that, right? Or is that not?
So the beta, I don't know if we've announced when it is. I'll need to double check. We know the date, and it is incredibly soon.
Right,
but I don't think we've put it out, so I don't want to risk us getting in any more trouble at the end of the stream. All I will say, Stealth, is that it is incredibly soon. Just keep an eye on the socials, and if you have signed up for it, you'll know.
Sign up? Because there was a question earlier. Can people still sign up for the beta?
Yep, they can indeed. If one of the fantastic moderators or Wide Crew wants to quickly throw the Discord link in there, you can jump in on that and get yourself signed up. When will we be able? God, that was a sentence. When will we be able to see this amazing game running on a Series X? Soon. Actually, to be fair, we do have the ability, obviously, to play the game on such. I just don't have a Series X at home at the moment. So, doing the stream, I do the build I have, which is the PC one. But we'll get some Series X content up. We'll get some Series X stuff up soon.
Yeah, well, the Series X is a beast, so...
Whoa, easy. Bless you!
Yeah.
I'm going to hang the air here and just kind of swoop around on him. If I can just keep on his tail and track him...
You're doing a lot better now, see?
That's it. I mean, to be fair, this one's kind of splintered off from the pack a little bit, so he's kind of easy. The other birds in the ship fire. There we go. Get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, and this weapon is fairly a spray type of weapon. There's a more precise rifle type weapon that does high impact, high velocity rounds.
Okay, I think I just took another shot from the ship.
Yeah, the ship's firing at everybody.
The ship is firing indiscriminately. You'd have thought it'd be nicer to me.
It's firing at the enemy birds, and you're faster than most.
I mean, that's true. Well,
you have to lock onto the bird, man. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I dove out the way because I spotted his buddy coming at me from the top, and I didn't want to get cut by him, so we took a little duck. Oh, God. Okay, our health's back. That's good. Yeah, this guy's just getting chewed up.
Keep going. Don't stop.
I've lost him. No.
Commit and fire.
Thomas is such a wingman. There we go. I actually think the wingman took that one. Hold up, this convenient little wind spurt here. We're going to take it.
Yeah, you picked up some splinters as well.
Yep. We'll take that. We take those.
So, someone's out how the health regen. So, if you're there's a passive regeneration. So, initially, I had those little fish Gary was trying to catch, and then you had to catch one and heal. That still works. So, you can fly out and catch some fish and heal. But there's a passive regen always at work. You can see it growing because
I think we're good.
Easy or normal mode.
Oh, there's another one over here.
Yeah, I think you should play on easy now.
No, I'm doing good. We'll get there.
Very good. Well, so the thing is also that the enemies are a lot tougher here. Because
they're a little tankier.
After having upgraded your bird, reached a couple of levels, added some passive abilities. You know, and there's, Yeah, so it's just a regen. It wasn't fun having to. I think that's a great innovation for modern shooters to have this, passive regen or whatever you got it, and it keeps you in the action, and you just take a little break, fly off, and regroup. Okay. You don't
This guy should just run away. He should just run. He's on fire. Just leave, buddy. Nope, too late. We warned him. It will indeed, Flemish boy. The stream. Oh, okay, that's a bit bigger.
Oh, yeah. So here's a weaver, as we call them. Dragons.
Well, you know what? I'm not in the mood to mess with a dragon, so I'm just gonna kill it now. I'm just gonna kill it now.
Kill it now, man.
Come back here. Oh no, it's going to dive. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm fleeing. I'm fleeing. Oh, I'm gonna go to the ship, and the ship will protect. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, the ship did not protect me.
You let it hit you from behind.
You know what? I didn't think about it. I didn't think about the fact I was turning my tail to a dragon, and I paid the price.
Yeah, you don't turn around and fly away.
I paid the price.
This is air combat. It will get on your 6 and burn you. What we have to do, you can have one of the wingmen in the later chapters. She drives, drives. I don't know.
Drives?
Drives dragon.
They've got a dragon license.
So you'll join the Mancer Order, but you want to be able to fly one yourself. And the main reason for that is they are too big to fit on these perches around the world. And I think most people will run away screamingly if they see a giant dragon.
That's a good point. I mean, the world of the Falconeer is kind of crazy enough. Like a lot of the civilian folk, they are just simple like sark fishermen. They're traders. They're just simple, humble people, and they regularly have these giant birds that are the size of buildings, just kind of chilling in their areas. I don't think they'd be any happier if there were also huge dragons just regularly turning up and just loitering around, causing all kind of dragon nonsense.
Well, they are weavers. They're not dragons. They are
Weavers.
Weavers.
Cool.
Is there thoughts on modding on PC? I do this game mostly by myself. The development, I have some help with a fantastic QA team. There's people helping me. There's so much I can do. I would have loved, because I hail from the modding scene. I would love to have added modding, but that is to get it to do properly, where you can mod the thing well, is a big effort. So no, there's no modding out of the box. That said, it's Unity, and I've seen people hack apart Unity and do amazing things. Yeah. Well, okay. So it would be fantastic, and maybe later on we'll add modding. But it's definitely been a topic, but it's not in now. And someone asked, is it UE4? No, it's Unity. But it's not using much of the default Unity lighting pipeline. So the look of it's fairly custom and unique to the Falconeer.
So Chris, I don't know if you're aware, Thomas. Chris177 is a I recognize this name from Twitter. They are a digital game photographer or a virtual photographer. I forget the genuine term, but their entire thing is just being absolutely flawless with going in and finding really cool imagery in games and using tools to kind of manipulate the camera and get really cool things occurring on the screen and taking incredible shots. And honestly, I'm kind of really excited for Chris to get their hands on this, specifically because of the photo mode. I feel like Chris will probably lose it. Were you here when we demonstrated it earlier, Chris, or have you just joined in? Wide Productions, will Captain Broadhead get his own spin-off Broadhead? Right, okay. So what this means is that my boss has logged in on the Twitch account. Hello, boss. Well, what are the chances, Thomas, of the Broadhead near? Well, what's the chances?
It is the sequel.
The sequel. Are you confirming the sequel to the Falconeer being Broadhead near?
Absolutely confirmed.
Confirmed. You heard it here first. It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. All right, let's let's quickly show. Let's just jump out here for a second, and we'll just quickly give Chris a demonstration of the photo capabilities, because I think it is something that they are going to absolutely adore. So basically, Chris, at any moment in the game, you just pause it, and you click this wonderful little photo mode button, and it just detaches the camera, and you're able to just go. To just go wherever your world desires. You could. It's your choice. Your choice what you want to do, and then on top of that, obviously you've got kind of pivoty and rotatey commands that are filters. Although we kind of discovered earlier that they're not functioning 100 in this build at the moment, so you can put depth of field effects on it and so on and so forth. You can even be so brave as to control the passage of time and just make it whatever time of day or night that you feel would be the best for the scene that you could that you want.
Change the FOV. It's YMB.
Oh, YMB. I nearly entered the menu again there, and I didn't want to do that. So let's pull this up. Let's get our Falcon Boy emulating that little statue in the background there. Then let's quickly get it to sun, because honestly,
I've already seen a couple of Twitters.
I know, I love it. It's my favorite pose because it just makes it look so dramatic.
And it's the Batman craze.
Yep, you can straight up zoom around and mess with the FOV, and then change with it in that way. And yeah, it's a very robust photo mode. You've got so much control over it to basically just frame anything you want in any way imaginable. You know, you want those shadows to be spilling out here? Okay, cool. Let's kind of control the sun. Let's just control the sun, because that's a sentence. And then let's rotate it a bit, and then let's zoom in a little bit, get that FOV set. It's great. It's fantastic. It's my favorite thing. One of my favorite things in this game is just how incredible the photo mode is. So I'm very much looking forward to see what people do when they get their hands on it, because it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. If the Falconeer was an FPS, what would you call it? You know what? We'd probably call it a first-person hooter. I think that's
it's so bad.
I think that's probably the best term. Would be a first-person hooter.
Oh, we're going to see that in a preview. First-person hooter.
First-person hooter. Not first-person hooters. That's something very different. This isn't that kind of game. I'm going to have to play with that photo mode. Oh, please do. Please do. Like, honestly, it's one of the things that I'm hoping the most is that when people get their hands on the game, that they just go to town and just make it... Just cover the internet in beautiful pictures of the Falconeer. Because that's honestly the best. But before we wrap, because I know that you are very crushed on time, and you've already joined us for longer than we were expecting, which I appreciate so much to begin with. Can we just get a moment of appreciation in the chat for Thomas, taking his time out of developing the damn game to come and chill with us? A third-person hooter? God damn it! Oh, yeah, okay. We're gonna have to play with that.
Gates that are in with the flags, those are part of time trial courses.
Indeed. So yeah, we'll quickly point at these. These here are, as Thomas has pointed out, they're little time trial markers. So there are various different missions and kind of side quests and activities for you to partake in. Some of which are time trials. Where
if you go up where the barrage balloons are,
up here.
Yeah, past the balloons. It starts.
This
up there
one that's lit.
It'll flame up, and you can.
Do we dare do a time trial? Do we dare?
Go do it.
Should we do it?
Nobody's shooting at you, so you.
Oh, and that's actually another cool thing I should point out. You may have noticed that my crosshair was invisible there. You can also straight up just remove the UI with the touch of a button.
Oh, yeah.
For recording purposes. So if you just want to get really cool videos or GIFs outside of the photo mode and you want that in motion, then you just pull the UI away and it goes nothing. Which makes for really good recording for videos, but also makes it very hard to do combat scenes when you're recording for videos because you have no aiming reticule, which would be which is sometimes problematic. Or maybe I'm just bad at flying. Would a first-person mode be possible? God, could you imagine barrel rolling in first person?
I can, but yeah,
You'd lose your lunch. Alright.
you would lose your lunch.
Oh God, it's gone dark. I should not have done this at night. It's okay. I've recovered.
It'll be fine. You're doing fine. Just flap.
I need you as my wingman in real life, Thomas. You're like this constant source of reassurance in my ear that I honestly cannot get enough of. I think everyone needs a Thomas on their shoulder.
Oh, really? No, I'm a pretty big guy.
No.
It's on the right.
Oh, it's on there. The flame was hidden behind the rock.
I forgot my own.
I got bamboozled.
Bamboozled. There you go.
I got
One
bamboozled.
more. It's on the top right. You don't fly into the thing.
I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, you've not won this one.
I've not won this one. I've used all my energy. My Falconeer energy is expended. I'm limping over the line. 44 seconds. I failed.
You failed to beat the time.
I failed to beat the time. But it's okay. We tried, and that's what's important. That is what is important. But there are many things.
My favorite spots in the game. You should turn around.
What, is this down on the...
Yeah, just behind you on that. There's there's a tiny viewing platform for looking at the mall.
Whereabouts?
And down, there's like the little stairs.
Oh, is it the one on the side of the statue here?
No, behind. Yeah, also no, behind you. You just flew over it in that little lantern. Super cute. I sometimes have so much fun. I have a little. Yeah, so it's there.
I think I've lost it. Hold on. Let me reorient. Up here?
Yeah, there. See where the little lights at? It's a tiny viewing platform. You look, there's some benches even. It's just something.
This is where people. Let's have a little look.
Yeah, they'll lend the boats. Look at it.
Little area for people to just sit and chill out and just look at the moor, which is, for those that don't know, the moor is a pretty. Let's just shine some light on the moor for a second. The moor's a pretty interesting place. It quite literally has an absolutely bonkers rift that goes through the middle of the Ursee. And I don't know whether you noticed while we were flowing through, but the water is actually kind of flowing downwards and upwards, but not flooding it. And this is because of a very specific reason that we're not going to go into specifically for story reasons.
Magic!
It's not magic, but there's a very specific reason. But it basically carves the ocean in half. It's like a giant double reverse waterfall that just kind of chills right out here in the middle, lined by these. And it's actually kind of an important place in the Ursee because they've got this, what they call the Moor Bridge, that's under Imperium control, I believe, right? Check. Moor Bridge should just be beside us to our left here. You can kind of see, actually, it would be a good idea if you look at the world map here. You can see this giant dark blue line that runs across and kind of separates everything, except for this tiny, tiny little section here in the middle. And that's the Moor Bridge that is, at the moment, under Imperium control, which basically means for traders and anyone wanting to make the passage from one end of the Ursee to the other, they kind of have to go through here. And I think we've actually got lucky and we can see someone doing that right now and just kind of chilling their way
there's someone
across the Moor Bridge.
A tiny sloop.
And this area, I'm not going to lie, I know I keep going to the photo mode, but it's just so beautiful. This particular area, I love the kind of dusky part of time because it just looks so beautiful, bathed in like this orange evening kind of glow. And you've got all of these big statues, and you just get the moons up there in the background just kind of fading in, and the sun setting, and this kind of lit area of the Moor Bridge as all of the boats are making their passage through. And yeah, it's one of my favorite areas to actually just fly around and take screenshots in, because it's just so damn beautiful, especially at this time of the day. But the moor's a pretty interesting place, and honestly, between things like the time trials, even outside of the missions... Hello, there's just another Falconeer. Oh, a group of Falconeers. They're Imperium birds, right? They're just chilling, patrolling the area?
there's an airship. It's a strategic location. There should be a big ass airship. If you open up your GUI, you can see it.
Oh, have a look. Where are we, airship?
Yeah, just target one, and we'll go to target mode.
Yep.
We protect our
So now there should be, if you look around, scan around on your radar, make a little turn. Look behind you.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. Well, there's no. Oh, there used to be
he's not there. He must be off doing other things. He must be off doing other Imperium-related business, probably chasing down some pirates that tried to brute force their way through the Moor Bridge. But there's, I think, honestly, outside, I mean, you know, the art stream is stunning. The art style is stunning. The combat, when I'm not dropping the controller on the floor like I just did, is great, especially when you get a handle on it. The ability to customize your bird and your ammunition with mutagens and different ammunition types gives you many different ways to kind of tackle engagements. All of that aside, I think one of my absolute favorite things about the Falconeer is just the world of the Ursee itself. And there is so much things like the Moor, things like all of the relics and the kind of mystery that surrounds so much of the history that you can basically just lose yourself following people around, learning things, discovering new locations, finding out exactly what it all means. And to give not too much of the story away, because again, I don't want people to lose the magic of discovering the story as they go through. An early preview kind of described the game as it's kind of like Game of Thrones, with giant birds. And the story of the Falconeer, even though it doesn't look it up front, it's one of political turmoil and intrigue. And every one of these factions, and every one of these houses, and every one of these locations, they're all moving pieces in this shifting world balance around the game. And the journey that you get taken on and what you learn about all of these locations as you're going through, you can't help but be pulled in. And it's one of my absolute favorite things about the game. And honestly, I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on it and experience that for themselves. But I think, guys, gals, non-binary pals, we are going to wrap this show up there because we've taken so much of Thomas's time. And as much as I want to sit here and maybe redeem myself for some of the lesser combat experience.
Well, I did note some things where I went, well, maybe we can make it auto-lock, but then it's annoying because it'll lock something which you're not locked at. But
I think we've. Sorry, carry on. I've interrupted.
No.
I think we've learned an awful lot. We discovered a couple of new bugs, which is great. Like, that's great. Our QA team are probably swearing at me, but it's great. We find new bugs. We got to showcase the photo mode, which I'm very excited for you all to get your hands on. We kind of showed a little bit of the RPG elements and a little bit of the creation and class elements of the birds. We got to show you some, maybe not top-tier combat, but the potential for some incredible combat. And we got to show you a few of the more interesting locations in the game. I think in a couple of weeks, we're aiming to do another stream. Next week is going to be focused all around some exciting news that people who have signed up for the beta might be excited about. Just to drop a little fishy in front of a hawk falcon right there for you. The week after, we'll be looking at doing another stream. And I think what I'd like to do, every one of the streams, what I want to do is basically inform and educate as well as entertain, because there's so much in this world that it's impossible to do all at once. I think next time, if Thomas is available, we'll pull him on and we'll maybe do a tour of all of the different factions and the locations, and we can just kind of get a taste for the differences between them all and their kind of positions and how they do everything, and just take him on a little bit of a virtual tour of the Ursee, so you can kind of get a feel for which of these houses you really allocate yourself with the most. But for now, we're going to call that a show. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here today, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
No problem, man. See you next time.
See you next time. Those of you that are not already, please get yourselves in to the Discord. I know it's been linked a few times. Sharky just linked it in there. You will learn a lot about the Ursee in there, especially come the end of this week, where I'm planning to do something a little bit fun for everybody. So please get yourselves in there. Get yourselves signed up to the beta channel. It will be brought up the second that you join and direct you to the relevant form, where you just give us all of the relevant info, and you might find a little interesting key appearing in your inbox relatively soon. But until then, this has been Gary for Wild Productions. This has been Tomas Sala, the lone developer of this absolute magic. Falconeer coming November 10th to Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, and Steam. All on the same day. I'm actually impressed I managed to read all of that off without getting any of those wrong. I've been practicing this. Can you tell? Coming to all of those on November 10th. The beta coming very soon. It is in the beta channel, the beta sign-up information channel. Stealth Shadow, please jump in the Discord, sign up to there, and look forward to the next Falconeer stream in the very near future. From everybody here at Wired, from Thomas, and from the Falconeer, we're a ghost. We'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Thomas.
Bye! Come out for you, sorry.
Well, that went all right.
Yeah, where are we? Okay, where are we? Are we private now?
We're still live right now, so don't say anything rude.
Oh, yes. I must admit, I'm a bit jolly with tiredness.
I'm pretty tired too. We should probably go finish this video game.
We should probably go finish
Should we go finish the video game?
Yeah, we shall finish the video game.
Okay.
You did well, man.
You did well. I can't believe you nearly let slip about the Falconeer 2. Can't tell him about 3, though. That would be terrible.